Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here, and today we're going to be reading some spooky ghost stories. I haven't made one of these videos in a while, and I thought it was finally time to bring one of them back. I was living with my now mother-in-law in a house she had just purchased a few months before. We had all had various weird feelings or experiences in the house, but two really stuck out. Collectively, there were 3 dogs living in the house at the time. One evening, we were all sitting with our backs to the hallway. This is significant. Watching a movie. All of a sudden, my German Shepherd and my Terrier both perk up their ears and start staring down the hallway behind where we were sitting. I mean, full attention. I noticed and turned around. The light in the hall was off. It was dark. But of course, don't see anything. 5 minutes later, they're still staring and now growling. This time, my wife and I turn around and we both watch as the light switch on the wall gets flipped to on. Dogs went crazy, and so did we. A few weeks later, same scenario. Lights is off, and we are watching a movie. My German Shepherd loved to play fetch, and we always had a million balls around to entertain her. This time, she's staring down the hallway and wagging her damn tail. This time, we all notice again and start to watch. I swear to God, a ball, single orange tennis ball, came rolling down the hallway towards her. We all went white. There were a few others, but Jesus, I hated that hallway. It never felt like a bad energy, but my feeble little brain was still scared nonetheless. Edit. One more story. My mom-in-law was having these dreams a few weeks after moving in about the house catching on fire and burning to the ground with all of us inside. Horrible. About 3 weeks after these dreams, we woke up one morning and distinctively smelled smoke coming from the house somewhere. Panic, we all started searching and eventually came to the garage. On a rafter, we noticed a smoke coming out from around a fluorescent light fixture. At that moment, I realized, my God, it's attached directly to this old dried-out beam. The light was left on all night and it was clearly burning the rafter ever so slightly. Lights are not supposed to be secured/screwed on to a rafter like that. So we all think our ghost hosts were looking out for all of us. After that, her dreams stopped. Thanks, Ghosty. I'm a good ghost. I'm not real. You've been tricked. I shared a room with a guy in college who was a musician. He'd stay out late almost every night and came home around 3 or 4 in the morning. Our room was a straight shot through the kitchen from the front door. One night, I woke up to the bedroom door opening and figured it was just my roommate coming home after a gig. I thought it was strange that he turned the light on when coming in. He knew I was a light sleeper and would normally use his phone's light to shine around the room if he was looking for something while I was asleep. My bed was a twin size positioned against the wall connecting the bedroom to the kitchen. When he came in, I was facing the wall. I kept my eyes closed and pretended I was still asleep because I didn't feel like having a conversation with a most likely drunken friend while I was still half asleep. I heard him go to his side of the room opposite of my bed and rustle around his desk and dresser looking for something. Sometimes he would grab some clothes for the next day and go to stay at a buddy's house, so I wasn't concerned. Then I felt him start reaching under my bed. I kept a few things under there, but he would normally ask before straight up taking anything of mine. At that point, I was really confused and annoyed by all this. So I made a point to, passive, aggressively, roll over on my other side and face the middle of the room in the direction from where he was reaching, so he knew I was pissed that he was ruining my beauty sleep. Then I heard nothing, but I could feel he shot up from under the bed and was just standing there. I never opened my eyes, but I figured he would either apologize for waking me up or something. But he never said a word, he just stood there. After probably 2 minutes with the light still on, I heard him leave the room and go to the kitchen. I opened my eyes after a couple more minutes because he left the light on in the other bedroom. He wasn't in the kitchen, but he pulled a knife from the knife block and left it on the table. I checked around the house and couldn't find him, but quickly realized my Xbox, book bag, wallet, etc. were stolen. I called my roommate to see if he had been home, but he was miles away at a party. He still had his house keys and never gave them to anyone else prior. I must have accidentally left the door unlocked that evening, which was the one time someone decided to check the knob. Police never followed up with me after that night, so I doubt they ever caught the guy. I can't imagine what would have happened if I ever did open my eyes and see that guy standing there, or if I chased him out to the kitchen. That's not a ghost story, that's a straight up break-in. I've had a few strange experiences in my life, but here's one of the creepiest ones I've personally had. My parents live in a house built in the 1760s on the coast of southern Maine. It's a centered chimney cape with a long L off the back. When they first purchased the house, I did some research on the property and the owners through the years. The house was built by the Eaton family and was handed down through the family from generation to generation until about 1860 when it was sold. Between 1820 and 1830, the Eaton family lost both parents and 8 of the 9 children to premature death. Most of them died of tuberculosis. I had returned home from college to stay with my parents during winter break. January in Maine is bitter cold, and in an 18th century house, all the more so. My little sister, who was about 15 at the time, and I were sharing a bed, partially for warmth, partially because I'm a sissy and the damn old place has creeped me out a little. The bed was in the downstairs front room of the house. The only other person in the house at the time was my younger brother, who was all in the back L, far across the house from us. I woke up around 8 a.m., rather abruptly, because I could hear intensely labored breathing coming from my sister. At first I thought she must have come down with a terrible cold, and was really congested. I lay there for a couple minutes and then finally rolled over to check on her because it sounded awful, like an asthma attack or death rattle. When I rolled over, I immediately saw she was on her side facing me, wide-eyed. She whispered, "That's not you?" The noise continued and it was loud. There was nothing subtle about it, and it was coming from the bed, directly between us. We jumped out of the bed, checked under the bed, checked the entire room, and all the while, the breathing continued. Finally, at a loss, we just stood on either side of the bed, facing each other, and listened in disbelief. It stopped abruptly. I have no explanation for that. My parents have owned the house for almost 10 years since then, and a variety of odd things have happened, though no one else has ever heard the labored breathing, which I rather think is just what it sounds like if, say, a person were dying of tuberculosis. Okay guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed these scary stories. I appreciate the whole lot of you. From me and Todd, have a great day, have a great night, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
Hey, I'm sorry for dreaming about the future. You and I'll be better when we're old enough.
This is Todd, if you don't know. Todd is in every video. I try to include him in every video.